And yep, we're live as well on YouTube. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the Conversations That Matter. Show number
15, 14, 16,
17.
15. Wow, all right. I can't keep track, sorry. So, hello Instagram. First time here. At least for me, I haven't done Instagram Live ever again before. I think you did before, right? I think I watched some of you were. I think you were in London, right, or something like that.
I've done in Athens as well, but yeah, in London as well. Yeah, true.
All right, great. So, for the people that don't know, because we are very small on YouTube, right?
No. We're growing stronger.
All right, yeah. Like at the rate of one subscriber every 15 years, but yeah. So.
For this year, yeah.
Yeah. So, what the fuck is this podcast? Go.
So this podcast is basically the collaboration, or otherwise the communication between two different minds, between two different perspectives. The one of like the motivational speaker mind and the philosopher, practical philosopher mind, right?
Yeah.
So basically we're trying to discuss different things of daily life, like any single thing you can imagine, but with two, maybe more different perspectives. So that's my definition about our podcast. I don't know about yours.
I think it's that. Yeah, I think it's like two good friends with similar interests, like trying to share anything, I guess. Because we really talk about anything sometimes. Like we've talked about poker, we've talked about Tinder, we've talked about gay people, we've talked about aliens, we've talked about our mothers, like, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
So
hey,
in a way, hello George. Yeah. So in a way, it's like we've talked about anything. So.
And we're only on the episode number 17, right? So
16, right, dude?
17.
Oh, okay. I was just testing
100%.
you. Yeah. All right. So to start off this podcast, like because we missed previous week's podcast, we were very busy, both of us. I want to dive deep into what I read the day before, actually, on the Daily Stoic. It's a book I've referenced a million times. It's a book on Stoicism. It's a philosophy that originates from ancient Greece. And it goes like this, actually. The Daily Stoic book is a book that gets you like on the spirit of Stoicism. Exactly. Like every day you have a small chapter to read, of a one-page chapter, and it goes deep into a certain quote from a very famous and bright Stoic philosopher at the time. Some great names of Stoicism is like Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca. These are the most, they were the pioneers, essentially, of Stoicism. And February 12th, it was about, the title was about protecting your peace of mind, right?
Okay.
And the quote from Epictetus goes like this. It says, "Keep constant guard over your perceptions, for it is no small thing you are protecting, but your respect, trustworthiness, and steadiness, peace of mind, freedom from pain and fear, in a word, your freedom. For what would you sell these things?" And then Ryan Holiday, who is the author, goes on to say that the dysfunctional job that stresses you out, a contentious relationship, life in the spotlight. Stoicism, because it helps us manage and think through our emotional reactions, can make these kinds of situations easier to hear. it can help you manage and mitigate the triggers that seem to be constantly tripped. Right? And then it's like, this is what really stuck with me. It's like, but here's a question, like, why are you subjecting yourself to this? Is this really the environment you were made for, to be provoked by nasty emails and an endless parade of workplace problems? Our adrenal glands can handle only so much before they become exhausted. Shouldn't you preserve them for life and death situations? So it's like, it's exactly this. What are you willing to do to protect your peace of mind? And what sacrifices are you willing to make until you reach the point where you're like, fuck this shit, like I can't take any more of that, and it's simply not worth it. And before we got on a call, I told you, like, this is going to be a mind fucking experience, because the moment I read it on a Monday, and usually on Mondays I'm really pumped, because it's the beginning of the work week, right? So I start again to be creative, hustling and stuff like that. So it's exactly that. Like, is it actually worth the emotional distress, the emotional pain, the fatigue, you know, to actually do this sort of thing? Or should we be very careful about, like, where do we place our attention on, our energy on, right? And then at the same time, you know, put boundaries. Like, enough is enough, dude. I don't want to do this. I want to preserve my peace of mind, and then move on from there. Have you ever caught yourself like in that situation, like where you were thinking that, you know, you were working hard, you were putting yourself under a lot of stress, and then there comes a point where you think like, oh, okay, so I don't think this is worth it anymore. Like, it doesn't make me any happier. It only makes me more sad.
Okay, because I'm confused right now. We're talking about doing hustling without having like a better and greater vision and a greater image and something really, you know, that will make you go towards some place, or like taking action without thinking, or something different. That's what I'm trying. What's exactly the question that you're thinking?
It's about stressing yourself
too
much unnecessarily for the wrong reasons, and without having the patience and the insight to say to yourself like, this is not for me, I'm quitting, and, you know, not feel bad about it, right?
Okay, yeah, I would say that, yeah, I've been like through this, you know, mind frames from time to time, because, you know, as much as you love what you do, as much as you enjoy your time, you know, working on the side project, working on the actual job, working on anything, doing any activity in your life, even if you want it or not, you will definitely go through those phases that you will be a bit stressed, and you will be inside of you, you know, like your mind won't be able to think and realize what's going on. And for me, I think it's completely normal. Like, you cannot pretend to be always Zen. As you know, as they say in the comments right now, that peace of mind is important. I totally agree with that. Like, peace of mind is super important, but you can't. Like, even the greatest Zen masters cannot achieve that. Eckhart Tolle, even if he says that, by the way, this book literally like destroys Eckhart Tolle, and nobody can be Zen all the fucking time. So for me, it's to realize that, yeah, put the effort, put everything you can do, put all the power, all the actions needed. But when you don't feel like it, just chill, bro. Like, do something else. Go out for a walk. Go out, drink a beer. Don't work without thinking and feeling, because I think that we are taking like some emotions from the whole perspective and the whole idea and the whole process of working. So work is not supposed to make us feel bad and tired. Work is supposed, to be like vital for us and wake us up and be like, oh yeah, motherfucker, I'm gonna go to the gym now. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to do the podcast with Ratis. Yeah, I'm gonna go work on the website. I think that work's supposed to pump you, not stress you, even if we go through those moments. So accept what it is and live it to the fullest, and then go and proceed and do more and more and more and more actions. I don't know if I'm answering your specific
I got
question.
it. Yeah. Do you have any advice, like, for people that right now they are doing a certain type of job or anything like that, that they don't really enjoy, and
Yeah.
they find themselves in a stressful situation very, very usually, and they often feel like they're fed up, they can't take any more of it?
Well, I guess that first thing, like, this is like a wake up call for everyone. Like, when you feel like doing something that you don't really want to do it, like, you have to ask yourself, why are you doing it? And this will be like, for you, a wake up call to realize that, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I doing the thing that I was born to do? So that's the first thing. Then I would say that if you totally hate it, just give up. Like, it's better to stress yourself a little bit and hurdle and hustle to find a new job than doing something that you don't love. And the other way would be to stay over there and work your business while your passion job, the same time you are doing the thing that you hate. Basically, I had exactly this conversation on my comments on my daily Facebook post. Someone was like, yeah, but what if you don't have a passion, and what if you don't like doing things that you want to do, and what should you follow, money or things like that? So I guess if you can do both and you can do a job that you're not like really, really, really fall in love with, but you kind of, accept it, and you also gain the money that will help you to invest them into the business and to the passion that you want to create as a business, do that. If you hate it, just give up. That's my opinion. I don't know about you.
I think what you're saying is okay in the, like, ideological sense, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, there are boundaries that are set by practicality in a way.
All right.
So if you have to pay the bills, right? If you have to provide for yourself and your family, and stuff like that, then you have to eat the shit, right? There's no way around it. Like 50,000 years ago, you would have to kill the fucking lion, right? So today, it's probably a different kind of lion. It's like a hardship that you go through in order to survive. Today's
Yeah.
requirements for survival are to eat shit in the workplace if you have to eat shit, right? Of course, the dream is to not kill the lion, but have other people kill the lion for you. In that sense, so it's not to do a shitty job, is to have the job work for you in a way. So you wake up every day feeling pumped up about the coming day. And I think this is something that many people romanticize, is like, they tend to forget what's in front of them at the moment and what they should capitalize on, because they have a sort of a vague dream about what they want the future to look like. But it's exactly that, it's a vague dream. So if you cannot aim at it very, very like in a straight way, then you cannot pinpoint where you have to go, right? And I think that people that don't have a sense of direction should be very, very careful about what they do with their work hours. In a way, they have to be very careful not to be left outside the job market in a way, and always have like their backup plan. So if this doesn't go well, what skills do I provide? What is a marketable skill? What is a valuable skill? How can I bring value to people in a way that I can get paid, so I can have like the peace of mind needed to create a plan for the future anyway. Because we've seen time and time again, it's like if you are in a state of anxiety all the time about the future, like if you can barely pay your rent, if you can barely get food on your table, right? If you can barely pay the electricity and the phone, then anything else from that point, it's like your visions become extremely more shorter and shorter in term times, right? So you try to survive for the next month instead of trying to find ways to thrive for the next decade, right? So the moment that you step out of the situation, like of a comfortable situation regarding your living, then it's a really, really difficult path from there. You have to be able to sustain yourself, your livelihood, if you want to dream big. Otherwise, I don't think that's possible, because you get neurotic. It's inevitable, right?
I don't know. I think that all the people that are like, I'm gonna drop out and I'm gonna travel across Europe, I'm gonna go to America with no money, with no connection, and I will become the next Elon Musk. Even though that's, you burn the boat, so it should help you somehow. I think it's a stupid plan. Like, it's better to be a little bit more strategic, because it's like, yeah, definitely, if you are young, these are the ages that you can and you should go a bit more risky. But man, like, have at least the mind to go a little bit more strategic, like have a backup plan, exactly as you said. And I agree so much with all of this.
How have you found yourself ever in a situation like that?
Of what? I know where this is going. Yeah.
Right? This is a conversation that matters, by the way.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that I've been there, and I've done one of the most basic and stupid mistake that you just mentioned, is that like burning the boats without hesitation is like, it's stupid, bro. And I realized that mistake after the fact. But this also, in a way, makes me more aware about the future. And it's like trying to be able... hello, Vlasi, what's up? Trying to be able to, work around it. And this also gives you great motivation to work even harder in some ways, right? And now, the other thing about the Daily Stoic that I really, really liked is the next day after that, which was actually, it was Tuesday.
What's the date? 24th?
No, February 13th. February 13th.
13th, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just about the title I want to say. It's like that pleasure can become punishment, right? And essentially, it goes on to say that what you think as short term, in a way that it's like, for example, one very, very great example of that is food, right? Junk food, desserts, and stuff like that. It's a short term great thing to have. You feel the all the hormones in your brain, and it's a great feel to eat a chocolate cake. It's also a great feeling, I don't know, to watch Netflix, right? Or to masturbate, or I don't know. But at the same time, this also is a punishment, right? The more junk food you eat, the more punished your body gets, right?
Yeah.
The more Netflix you see, the more punished like your social life gets or your work life gets, right?
Yeah,
So
it makes sense. Makes sense.
in a way, pleasure can become punishment, and with that, in a way that it's like lack of self-control becomes punishment, right? If you cannot self-control, and during that moment think of yourself like, is this actually worth it, right? Have you ever seen that? It's like, for me it has happened a million times, and it's like I'm watching a series or I'm playing a video game or I don't know, anything like that, and during like while I'm watching, like in the back of my mind there is always, not always, but there is sometimes a voice. It's like, oh my god, I shouldn't be doing that, like I shouldn't be watching that. No strategies, that's stupid. What are you doing? You should do something more productive with your time, something different, something that expresses you better, right? And there's like this voice in the back of my mind, and I think that the more you ignore this voice, which is essentially a voice of self-control in a way, it's like, don't indulge this pleasure, like this short-term, like stupid thing. It's like, try to do something that's productive for you, right?
Yeah. No, the first thing I'd like to mention on what you said is that, what was the title once more? Can you repeat it?
Pleasure can become punishment, essentially.
Okay, it's like we can see like pleasure can become punishment, obstacle can become the way. Through failure, you find success. After the rain, there is the rainbow. After in the darkness, you can see the stars. Like there is this zen, this yin and yang connection with all the things around us. So for me, it's like to realize that life is not only about losing, or it's not about winning. That life has both of these things is super essential, and we tend to forget it. We tend to be focused so much on what we don't have instead of what we actually have, or we tend to focus on what we have, and maybe we forget how we can improve ourselves in order to take what we don't have already. But what was the second question? I forgot my.
Yeah, and I understand why. Like when you're watching Netflix,
Yeah,
you get that voice in your head. It's like that tells you, right, stop doing that. It's stupid, bro. Like,
not really. Like, not with Netflix for sure, because I love Netflix. But maybe for example, when I might go out and order some junk food, I will think that, oh my God, I'm going to the gym. So how exactly this is correlated with the gym? So if I think these things happening when there is like a disconnection between your core value and the action that you're doing right now. There's this dissonance. Like, oh, I'm going to the gym, but why the fuck am I eating junk food? Oh, I want to build a business, therefore I have to work from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. But how is it possible for me to watch Netflix and chill for 5 hours? Oh, I want to take a PhD, but how is it possible to acquire the PhD if I'm all every time I'm going out to the clubs and I'm getting drunk? I want to get in a relationship, but every time that I have sex with a girl, I go away. So how is this possible? Like when there's this dissonance between the things that you want and the things that you're doing, this is like the biggest problem that I think creates the self-pity, anxiety, self-nervousness. I cannot find like the way. But yeah, I think like that's the basic thing for me. When there's this difference between those things.
Yeah, it's exactly what they say in the comments right now. It's like, I get the voice when I'm watching a series, then I'm like one more episode and that's done and that's it. But then I'm watching 3 more. It's like exactly that, and it's the same. My nutritionist, you know him, Steve. He's our brother. He told me at some point, is like that if you put it in front of you, you're going to eat it. It's like it's done. After that, it's done. If you like, you put the chocolate bar in front of, if you put you know what I mean, right? If you do that, if you put it in front of you, like you are going to indulge. There is no way around it. Like, and this is how proactive you have to be in your self-control. Really, I found myself like that many times. Like you open Netflix for one episode and then you binge with like you're just a zombie. You go into zombie mode completely, or you eat. You go to have a beer and you drink 5 beers and you eat some chips along with that, right? And then the next morning you don't feel very well, so you also eat an unhealthy brunch at the same time because you don't have it, right? You don't have a willpower to
and then
to
you cannot go
yourself.
to the gym. You cannot go to the gym.
Exactly. So it's like, one thing brings the other, and this is exactly that. Pleasure can become punishment in a way, and when you unjustifiably like consume your pleasures and you seek pleasure, a short-term pleasure all the time, this is like how it hits you.
And I think also we have to mention the whole comfort zone thing, because basically it's part of what Epictetus and Ryan Holiday discuss on this specific page. Like comfort zone, we know, the general thing is that people are saying that we have the circle, and inside that you have the pleasure, and outside you have all this difficulties and the pain. But in reality, I don't believe that this is a comfort zone, like the paradigm of comfort zone. It's exactly the opposite. Inside your comfort zone is the pain, because you're staying the same, you're staying in stagnation, you're not improving yourself, you're not changing your mindset. And outside of your comfort zone is the pleasure, because the more you break your boundaries, the more you change, the more you improve, then you start like seeing on your body, soul, mind, the improvements and the changes. And like pleasure is good, like chasing pleasure is good, like that's in a way something that people are made from, and that's something that we always chase. But in reality, trying to put yourself into all those painful and hard situations will help so much. And I think Stoics talk about that, and we can do it in our days as well, in a more controlled environment. For example, I have a friend who decided to become homeless for a day, just to see like the worst case scenario. Like myself and you were also taking cold showers. So why the fuck would you ever take cold shower? But apart from the fact that it's super beneficial for your whole skin and testosterone and body and stuff like that, it's something that puts you into a position that you have to break your limits and you have to break your boundaries. Then intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is another way of breaking the comfort zone and going towards the pain. Intermittent fasting is when you're not eating basically for like 16 hours a day, and you then have a window of 8 hours to eat whatever you want. And again, this trains you into doing things that you don't want to do, which builds for you discipline, which breaks your comfort zone, which makes you like loving pain in a way that it will make you go towards pleasure, because there is no, like, I'm 100% sure for that. Every time you feel pain, every time you go through those painful and uncomfortable situations, you will get what you have to do. You will reap the benefits. You will become better, as long as you know, you do not give up, because it's gonna be hard, man. Like, okay, yeah, we know. Chill, relax, try again, again and again, and at some point, somehow, you will make it happen, as long as you don't give up.
Exactly. And you know what the upside is? Like, your future pleasures become enhanced. Like, you get 10 extra pleasure from, like, from the simplest things. A great example of that is like, I watched a guy who did a water fast for 4 weeks.
He did a what?
Water fasting. Water fasting
Seriously?
means, yes, that he didn't eat anything except drinking water. He only drank water for 4 weeks. He was a bit fat, so it was like he was under medical supervision, of course, and he did it, right? So he documented the entire thing, right? The most interesting part was the first week and the 29th day. During the first week, he was like cursing, he was moody, he was sleepy, he was tired all the time. He couldn't wait to finish that. He barely made it out, like, in one piece, in a way. And after that, he got used to it. It sort of got better. Like, his uncomfortable zone became his new comfort zone, which is one interesting thing. Now, the funny part is the 29th day. So after 28 days, done. The water fasting was done. In the 29th day, he woke up and he was able to eat again, right? Because his digestive system, it was essentially not working for 4 weeks, he couldn't go ahead and like eat a burger or something like that, right? So his doctor told him to eat like 3 bites of a watermelon, and that's it. He couldn't eat more. He wasn't allowed to eat more. So you should see the reaction on his face when he took a bite of the watermelon and he put it in his mouth. Like, his reaction was priceless. It was like, I don't know, like having or an orgasm to the 10th degree just by putting a bite of watermelon in your mouth, right? And I think that this exact feeling is priceless, because you spend so much in a state where you are completely, you lack everything, you don't have anything, you really, really, really are uncomfortable with your position, and then the tiniest bit of comfort, of pleasure, it's so magnified, the feeling is so magnified that it's like, oh my god, like, oh, I was missing that. It was that thing, and then you reevaluate like your entire belief system, because you're like, okay, so I can feel the same feelings by eating watermelon as I did by eating a cheeseburger and fries and a Coke, right? So this is the most interesting thing, and it's the same thing. Some other guy did it by eating boiled potatoes only for 2 weeks. The same thing exactly. He could eat as much as he wanted, but he could only eat boiled potatoes. And what happens is that this resets your taste buds in a way. So everything about taste
Your
that
what?
you do,
Your what?
your taste buds, like how you perceive tastes in your tongue. So after the 2 weeks, it was like Yeah, sex after 2 months last night. Yeah, it's exactly that. I think it's something like that, right?
Yeah.
And like after 2 weeks with the potatoes, he said that he went ahead to eat a burger and fries, and he could not finish it because he was overwhelmed. Like his brain was overwhelmed by the
Damn.
taste, right? So you
Damn.
see, like
Okay.
how like over consuming the pleasure can bring you to a point of like of desensitizing you in a way.
We said sex and everyone in the comments is happy now. Okay, guys.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So guys in the comments, please let us know how you did yesterday. It was Valentine's Day.
Yeah, please tell.
What do you believe about Valentine's Day, by the way? Because I've seen a lot of posts like since like I saw a lot of posts the couple of days now about, you know, some people say that Valentine's Day is something a commercialized day. Some people said that you shouldn't wait for Valentine's Day to celebrate your love and your romance. Some others say that fuck Valentine's Day. It's like I don't care, you know, not completely nihilistic and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Where do you stand on this?
I would stand somewhere in between. And what I mean by that is like, I think that Valentine's Day is like a day that works as a wake up, as a, you know, as a wake up call, as a stepping stone. It's like the day basically that you remind yourself that, you know what? Yeah, I understand you have all this shit going on through your life, but you know, at least once per year, celebrate love. And if you can, if you show to yourself that you can make it happen one day, you can do that 2 days, 2 months, 2 years, or fuck your whole life. For me, it's like a day that we should all remember that, first of all, love, it's not about the other person. Love starts from within yourself. In order to fall in love with someone, in order to love someone, you first have to love yourself, because love comes from within. It's not something outside. Like if you don't love yourself, whatever you try to create, make, it's not gonna go towards the other person. Number one. Number two is remember that every single day you have something to fall in love with. You have a beautiful nature. This might not be, you know, a person. It might be it might be like a walk in the nature or something like that, you know.
Exactly.
So apart from that, it's definitely like a way to remind us like what we need to do. The second thing about Valentine's Day is that, because I had discussion with people that are not like in a relationship or did not have a date, and basically, you know, what we discussed was, oh, dude, you know what? I fucking hate this day. I was all on my own home. I didn't do anything, and then I was looking all the stories of you know, couples, and I was like, you know what, dude? First of all, you have yourself. So why don't you date yourself? Go watch a movie, your favorite movie, cook a beautiful dinner to yourself, take a walk by your own, listen to your favorite music, dance with your favorite music. Like, who's gonna judge you if you want to basically date yourself, love yourself? Like, why the fuck not? It's so beautiful, it's so real, and love starts from there. Love starts from within. What's your opinion?
It's exactly that. And it was Oscar Wilde who said that to love yourself is the beginning of a lifelong romance, in a way. So what you said exactly summed up. And I completely agree with that. And I think it's something that, you know, I don't know if your parents told you about it. Like my parents certainly did. And I think that most parents did. And our teachers also did. They told us two things: respect yourself and love yourself when we were young, right? And of course, when you are 6 years old, you don't give a fuck about what. It's like these things don't register in a way. It's like, what do you mean I respect myself? And what do you mean love myself? What do you mean by that, right? And I think a better way to communicate that to a child, or to anyone for that matter, is to say this. Is like, treat yourself as someone who do you love very much, right? Treat yourself like you would treat your beloved mother, your beloved girlfriend, boyfriend, or anything, right? And this is exactly what people mean by saying, like, love yourself. It's like you have to treat yourself like you would do treat a person that you really, really, really love, right? And there were some comments like, when you were talking before about it should be about loving oneself and the people we have, which I agree completely. Vasiliki says that she was forever alone, but even that if she was in a relationship, like, she wouldn't wait for Valentine's Day to celebrate. Another person here says like they like the combination of continuous love and event-based love, but at the same time, dude, like, how do you separate it, right? Because if you always, for example, with that, I kind of disagree, and I'm gonna say why in a minute. When this girl says that she went out with a nice guy, but he didn't share his popcorn, okay, that's a deal breaker for me. Like, you have to share food, dude. No, don't go out with him again. I disagree. This guy says that he's taking a test tomorrow. Good luck, dude.
Good luck, yeah.
All right. Another one says that I dated myself. I guess that's also good. Yeah. So why do I disagree with the thing about both continuous love and event-based love? Is like it's the same thing that it's like I don't think that's sustainable in a way, and I think that arguing is fine. I think that a bit of hate is fine. A bit of of friction, I think, is more than fine. I think it is welcome, because it's like people attract each other on the rough edges. If you're a chemical engineer, right? If two surfaces are very lean, then there is no friction, then it's difficult to stick together, right?
Yeah.
If they have rough edges, then they stick very easily, right? This is how glues are made, essentially. So it's exactly that. If you don't have rough edges, and if the other person doesn't have rough edges, then how do you expect to connect, right? And even though I think that the romantic idea behind, like, continuous, everlasting, and indestructible love, it's great. I don't think that it's realistic, and I think that it subtracts from, like, a holistic experience when it comes to love. And when it comes to anything, really, like, you can't have only yin, you have to have yang, etc., etc. You get the point, I think. What's your take on that?
I couldn't agree more on what you said. I completely agree. I have a question for you, and basically I have a question for all the people that are watching us. Let's play this game. While you will respond to this question, I want the other people to think and write in the comments. How would you describe, love? First of all, number one, do you believe that there is love, yes or not? And number two, how would you describe love with one word or one phrase?
Phrase. Okay, because one word, it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, that's a plan.
Like 2 words, I think, for me, it's love. 3, okay? It's about expressing compassionate truth, right? So the first part is expressing. Okay, if you don't express yourself, if you don't communicate what you feel by words and by actions, then there is no point. Like there is no equation to begin with, right? The first thing is that
Mm-hmm.
there is no universe where somebody will read your mind to understand if you love them, respect them, hate them, blah, 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 right? So you have to express it. Now, compassionate truth is about showing compassion, like putting yourself in that person's shoes, like feeling what they feel, valuing what they value, or at least understanding what they value, and understanding their thoughts and their dreams, possibly even sharing their aspirations, like together, like common goal, right? And truth is about, not bullshitting, to just to
Yeah.
get them in bed. If you're a guy, usually that happens with girls, or not to hurt their feelings if you are a girl, which usually happens. Like girls usually tend to be very polite and don't give honest feedback. I'm sure that this has happened to you many many times. Like they don't want to they don't want to embarrass you, they don't want to embarrass themselves, and they are dishonest about usually why they're rejecting you in the first place,
Yeah.
or why they were with you in the first place, or like I think it's a lot of it's not intentional by any means. I don't think that's intentional on either side, even if you're a guy or a girl. But I think that you have to be really aware to share the truth and to express like 100% in a compassionate way what you believe to be the truth. And if the other person can accept that, then it's someone that you are right to love. And if they cannot accept that, then I think that you should honestly move on, because if there is no compatibility in terms of truth, then you're just wasting your time. Like, what the hell are you doing with them, right?
Mm-hmm. Dude, I don't know if you're reading the comments, but the people that we have with us, they're freaking amazing. Like some things that I read here, like it's amazing. Unconditional love, love is freedom, celebration of being. Like guys, like having you here and having people that are like thinkers and know these things like makes me and I guess Radis as well super happy.
Yeah, it's
So
great.
yeah, GG. For me, I would say three words: intimacy, trust, and honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Intimacy, in the frame that, how can you love someone if you are not willing to, be more intimate, and not on the sexual basis, not like on the terms of making love and not sex or whatever, in the terms of like being able and being open enough to give to the other person the things that they need and they deserve and they want, like look them in the eyes, say something good, say something beautiful, whisper to their ear like what you're thinking about them. That's about intimacy. Then about honesty, which is one of the values that I chose to live by, and like it's one of the most important things that I value in my life. Honesty is like, I want a relationship, and I believe that a real relationship has to be honest, because if you're not willing to open yourself up to the other person, and also the other person to be open towards you, then something somewhere is wrong. Like, you guys are in a relationship, okay, be all right with the other person sharing their problems, sharing their lives, sharing their insecurities, because it's about sharing. Like, she or she will have a problem, okay, deal with that together. You're not
Mm-hmm.
a lone wolf. It's not you versus her. It's you and her. It's you. It's together. You're we. It's not me and you. It's we. So That, and what was the third one? Was it trust? Yeah, trust.
Yeah.
And this goes basically into the thing that I fucking hate jealousy. Like, I hate being in a relationship and have the girl being all the time jealous about me. And this thing will never happen from my perspective towards her. Like, if I choose to be in a relationship, if she chooses to be in a relationship with me, we both have to agree that we trust each other. Like, not going, where were you last night? Or show me your phone, show me your messages. I don't believe you.
Right.
You're cheating on me. These things create such a stress for the other person and for the relationship that it fucking destroys everything, man. Like, I think that the poison of relationship is jealousy. If you want to break up with your partner, start being jealous, like a lot of jealous, and without like having any motive, being jealous, like out of the blue. Where were you? You're cheating on me. Uh, they will definitely cheat on you just by starting this attitude towards them, because you're showing them that you're not trusting them, and that makes the other person go into offense and like destroys all the beautiful things that can be built or have been built.
I agree. I agree so much with that. I agree. I've seen my relationships crumble because of that. Exactly. Because it's like you stopped treating your girlfriend as your girlfriend, and it's like you treat your mom. It's like, where were you last night, or like, why are you doing that and all that? It's like the dynamic changes so much, and you start slowly but surely, despising the other person, which is really bad. I really loved the comment that Annie made. She said that
Yeah.
there is love when he or she tries to make you show your best self, and I think that's so true. If the other person doesn't want you like to succeed and to become better and to evolve and to improve, it's like there is absolutely no future for you as a couple. Absolutely no future, I think. Absolutely no future. As with anything, right? If you have friends that don't want you to change, to improve, to become better, to succeed, then
Fuck that.
what the hell are you doing with those friends, right?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I think this is one of these times where you should put yourself first without much like second thoughts, without many second thoughts. And it's like realize that, okay, it's great to live a life with another person, but the reality is that you only get to live one life. So you might as well live your life and not the other person's. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
definitely.
and time is very, very precious.
Time is the only thing that never comes back. So you
Exactly.
can you can lose all of your money and make more money. Time, nope, nope.
Flies like an arrow. Yeah. Let's wrap it up with some last comments here. He says that
Yeah,
too many relationships are competitive, though the upside is pushing each other to the dreams. Tough balance.
true. Yeah.
I don't think that you should compete with your partner in any way, unless you're playing video games or board games or something like that. I think that I am actually very competitive by nature. I love competition, but I love competition where it's under the same terms in a way. And I inherently believe that if you put the spirit of a competition between a couple, when like let's say for example that I am competing with my girlfriend on like who is making more money or who has a better job, right? And on a Thursday evening like that, like today, I come back home and I'm devastated because I just lost my job in a way. And but we've already set the competition that I should make more money than her and she should make more money than me, right? What's her response during that day? Does she celebrate the fact that I lost my job, or does she help me to put myself back on my feet?
That's true.
Or does she actually help me? Or she says that, oh, I cannot waste my time with that because I have to work. You know, I think that there is absolutely no space for competition in that way, unless it's like in a playful manner. I love playing games, so yeah.
Nice. Okay, perfect. So
Let's wrap it up.
let's wrap it up, but we have to play our game, and this game will also be played by the people that are with us. So, guys, for all of you that don't know, what we do with Stratis every time when we finish the podcast is a game, all right? And the game goes like that. If this was your last conversation before you die, you have a fatal disease, and you know that in like the moment this life ends, you're gonna die. Okay, what, write in the comments what would you like to share with the people that you will never have the opportunity to talk again. Is it a word? Is it an idea? Is it a wish? Write that, and in the same time Stratis and I will also share ours as well.
All right, you go first.
Okay. So if it was I'm gonna talk about love since it was yesterday, like Valentine's Day. If it was my last, like if I'm gonna die in like 2 minutes, the last thing I would like the people to have in mind is that it's okay, first of all, to fall in love. Like falling in love is amazing. All the feelings that you have are super good. The intimacy, the looking the other person in the eyes, smiling, having sex, all these things are beautiful. But don't forget to also enjoy the process to go there. Okay, fall in love or die trying, as people are saying. Like it's okay, to you meet all these interesting people. You go through all those adventurous dates. You meet crazy people. You meet funny people. You meet people that creepy people. You meet people in general, and you go through this roller coaster. So for me, don't be afraid, and stop being sat into your own shell. Like open up, love yourself first of all, and then spread love. Give like love dose to everyone you meet, everywhere you meet them. The person on Starbucks serving you your coffee, your professor, the random old lady in the streets, of course your date. Be honest with yourself, be honest with the other people. Love, 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 love everyone, everywhere. And if people do not love you back for what you are, you know what? Fuck that. Love yourself, love them. Tell them, you know what? It's all right, but I want to move on. I want people that will love me, that will accept me. And if you don't want to be one of them, it's all right. I'm wishing you the best. Goodbye. And since I'm dying right now, I love you all as well. That's me.
All right. All right. I like it. All right. What I would say, what I would think, it's an idea, right? I would look back during my life, right? And with the with the mentality of trying to find the happy moments in my life, right?
Yeah.
And usually what we do is like we are very, very good at finding bad moments in our lives.
I think
And
there's a limit, man. There's a limit on Instagram Live because it says 5, 4. Guys, if it closes, it's not me.
all
Something goes
right.
with Instagram.
Peace.
No. No. Uh, we lost everyone. Stratis? Sorry, guys, for listening in YouTube. There was like a problem with Instagram. Stratis, are you there?
Yes, man.
Yeah, dude, I think there's a limit in Instagram. How much time are we talking?
I don't know. Did you save it?
Yeah. It's gonna be online.
All right, good.
So
let's wrap it up here as well, right?
Yeah.
Actually, let's finish. Let's finish in a quick way about what I wanted to say, because it will stay in record, and I think it's worth it anyway.
Yeah. Start again. Sorry.
So yeah, I would think back, like my happy moments. We are very like good at finding the bad moments, of course, and you know, if you look for the happy moments, you will find the happy moments. So in a way, I would just think that I've lived a life that if I choose to believe it's happy, it would be happy. If I choose to find the sadness in it, it would be a sad life. And with that thought, I would choose to find the happy moments and say to myself on my dying breath, it was a happy life, because it was a choice. And that's it.
Nice. So, guys, Conversations That Matter show episode 17 just finished. Thank you so much for being with us. It's so important for us having you on board, and we're happy seeing you interacting with us. Again, thank you for everything. Make sure to, stay tuned for next week's episode number 18. And of course, make sure to follow us on the social media, stratiskaradakis.com, and on Instagram @stratiskarad. I finally learned how to say it. Yeah. And for myself, I'm not telling you my website because it's coming most probably this week or next week. But you can find me on Instagram as Yannis_Pantelis, same as YouTube, and Facebook as well. Facebook.com/Yannis himself, one word. Guys, we fucking love you. Thanks for being here. See you next week.
Bye-bye.